Oh, wait, I had some new ones. Hold on. Sorry. Which have we done? Do you know this one, Dwight? Hold on. Did we do this last time?
Yeah, we did.
Did we? Damn it.
Yeah, because I got erect.
What about this one?
Negative. Is that a xylophone?
This is the xylophone solo from Moonlight. Feels right. Moonlight. Feels. You know what I'm talking
I don't
about?
know what you're talking about.
Oh my God! Yes, you do. Okay, fine. That's not doing it. No, that's not.
What was that?
That was In the Meantime by Space Hog.
Oh, I love
You know
it.
that-
I love the song, dude. Space Hawks? Yeah.
So good.
Oh, my God. And I used to take this for granted when I was younger.
Oh, you don't appreciate it at the
And I'd
time.
be like,
Yeah. Right. What are we gay listening to this? And then now you love it.
And now I just singing it alone in my car.
Yeah. Ooh, got Space
Crying.
Hog. So good. So good. So good. Same thing with Hanson. All right. Hey, welcome to it.
Yeah.
It's Brock and Dwight. Conspiracies.
Yes.
Cool dudes and
In got rings?
I don't know. This is already off to a horrible start. I should have known. A minute in, completely derailed. Okay.
Yeah.
If you watched the last few podcasts, we've covered a lot of things: religion, science,
Yes.
the universe,
Yeah.
aliens, lizard people.
Souls. Dude, we got flagged last time for the lizard people comment.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got flagged. No, we're gonna get
We're
flagged.
getting
again.
flagged right now.
That was a badge of honor.
They're ready to go. You know why we're getting flagged? Because we're breaking down walls. We're
That's right.
finding the truth, and
That
they
is
don't
the
like
truth.
that, do they?
Dude, I'm telling you what, if you know you're on the right path when YouTube starts flagging your videos for
Yep.
stuff. I'm
Yeah.
dead serious about
Oh,
that.
for sure. Oh, for sure. And I love it too with all of these like people, especially the Zuckerbergs, the Bezos, all the people that are in like, we want to do something for the people, this free speech and blah blah. And then they get a bunch of money and they get in with all of the how do you do's,
Dude, yeah.
And
Musk too. Like, sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
and I tell you what,
he's not one of you.
It doesn't take long.
It's a big fucking club, and you ain't in it.
Ain't invited. All right.
Like,
you're not invited to the Eyes Wide Shut Illuminati pig sacrifices and the masks. What was that movie with Eyes Wide Shut with
Pulp Fiction?
Top Wait, that's the dance. That's what I was sorry. That's right. Uma Thurman. Good stuff.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, dude.
That's the kind of parties I want to go to.
Me too.
I want to wear a hardly covering my identity mask. Everyone knows who you are.
Your wife's gonna find out.
Everyone knows who you are. Gary, you wore a patch. I can see it's not even a good disguise. Oh, how did you know, Helen? I thought for sure this patch would completely hide my identity.
My wife bugged out on me because she saw the mole on the tip of my dick on the video.
Oh,
and she's like, I know that mole.
I know that mole. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Hey, moles will give it away.
Well, birthmarks.
Birthmarks, any
Right.
distinguishing features, a hard right curve.
Okay. I know that penis.
I know that penis anywhere. That's enhance. Enhance. Just print the damn thing. Okay, so we've covered a lot. Why don't we just get right into it? Let's talk about who is the puppet master, the marionette dance that we're in, the Pinocchio strings that are there.
Yeah, like the bye.
Yeah.
In your case, it's bi.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Look, you suck one dick.
We are like 5 minutes in.
We've
gone nowhere.
This is immediately done. Like it's done. Okay, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Puppet masters.
Okay. Let's dig.
Who now? All joking aside, let me. Okay, I'm going to build, and then we'll get to the tippy top.
Yeah.
We got your local government. Nothing there.
Yeah.
State government. Okay. All right. We're getting a little bit more money in the pockets. We're getting,
let's just think DMV when you go state government.
State government. Okay. DMV. Perfect.
The competence of the DMV.
The governor's not in the inn. Okay.
Right.
We now have much higher up Capitol Hill.
Kaput.
Kaput
or Capitoline Hill is what that was called.
Capitoline Hill.
Do you know what that was? And this is
no.
Dude, okay. This is synchronicity. This is exact. I wanted to talk about that. You said Capitol Hill.
Hey, ready to go? Because as we work our way up the power food chain.
Yep.
You see,
Yeah.
okay, here we, and then you got you got some guys. Oh, I'm part of Region 6 of Wisconsin, or
Right.
I'm handling this. But
Yeah.
now you get voted to governor. Now you got voted to maybe this, whatever it may be, Capitol Hill. Okay, well, do you want to start there? What?
Well, the reason why they call it Capitol Hill,
Yeah,
is from okay, just next to the Temple of Saturn in Rome.
Yeah.
Which this is what we needed to get into. There was a monument hill there, and they called it Kaput because they found a human skull there, and that's where skull and crossbones come from. And this is where like all these bloodlines, they find this as like a sacred place. This place next to the Temple of Saturn.
yeah.
And so that's how you get Kaput, dead. Was they found the skull there, the skull and bones. That's where the skull and bones comes from. And then it transformed the name into Capitoline Hill. And then that's where you get Capitol Hill in Washington when the bloodlines came over here.
What?
Yeah, bro.
What the? Yeah, because why? Why do we call it Capitol Hill?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what it's
because this is from some long bloodline,
Yep.
all the way back to when they were praising multiple mythological gods, and they found and they formed this society, robes, chants, all this stuff. Wow.
Let's get into it. You say they're mythological, but hold up. Okay, you say it's mythological, but let's get into Saturn.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay. Known as Kronos, one of the Titans in the Greek mythology, but
Yeah.
Saturn was Roman. Before that, El.
By the way, don't you play Kronos in that video game? Isn't that what's the one? God of War?
I don't know.
Right? Don't you play
I'm
Kronos?
familiar with that.
Yeah.
But Kronos, yeah. Okay, so who was Saturn? Who
Yeah.
was this mythological being, if you will? And what Saturn was, there's a whole bunch of references. There's a whole bunch of symbolism that goes along with Saturn, right? So let's dig in.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I'm ready. Let it rip. Let it rip.
Okay, and this is all going to lead back to these bloodlines. The Rothschilds, Rothschild, Red Shield came from Germany, and their symbol was a six-pointed star, which ended up being the six-pointed star on the Israeli flag, which is the Star of David. Which, okay, let's hold up. Let's back up. Let's back this up, right? And these are the people who, and they're not these people.
Yeah.
These people, I guess, these flesh and blood people, human beings, know everything.
Yep.
These Rothschild people, okay, but they're not in charge. Here's who's in charge. Okay, let's talk about Saturn.
Okay.
Saturn's known. Yeah, you can fact check me. You can look this stuff up.
I want to
Here we
dig
go.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Saturn. There's a bunch of different symbols, and this is what you have to know. You have to know like the different symbolism, because symbols are important. Symbols are super important. That's why I do not mark my body with tattoos. Okay, this is where this is. Yeah, with symbols, right? Symbols that we don't truly know or understand.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's a bunch of different symbols that represent Saturn. So one of the major ones is basically like a crescent. It's a crescent moon, but it's not a crescent moon. It's a crescent because they believe that Saturn was the second sun, the dark sun, the evil sun. That's why Saturday comes at the end of our week, because Saturn, the planet Saturn, was the farthest distance planet that you could see with the naked eye. So that represented boundary. That's why this is why they put Saturday at the end of the week. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. This is like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
We got to get into the different symbolisms of Saturn, because this is going to like represent later on. Okay. Whenever you see the crescent, right, holding a round object, such as like what they call the flying disc, we could even like get into what do you have a dollar bill on you? The seal of the United States.
No, not on me, man.
The steel. Okay, you know that. Okay, remember when he was talking in that movie Dazed and Confused at the end about the dollar bill, and there's a lot.
Yeah,
of
and look at
the
dollar. There's a lot of look at the dollar.
Do you know what he means by that?
And it's green.
And it's green too.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
She had big fat bowls waiting for him.
Right, man. Every day.
Okay.
Martha, why she was a hip lady.
And he was talking about like, dude, okay, this is what I mean. That they tell you lies in the news, and then they drop the truth in the fucking movies, man. So with the look at the dollar bill. The dollar bill is the crescent with the circle, the eagle wings. Like this is all represented of Saturn. And then in the stars that are in that circle on the back of your dollar bill, it's a 6-pointed star.
Yeah.
And then you go to the other side of the backside of the dollar bill, and what is it? It's a pyramid with an eye.
That's what's always thrown me is I always thought that was very like Illuminati.
You got it right, man.
Because
they were Freemasons. The founding fathers were Freemasons.
It seems so right in your face like that. Here's a pyramid with an eye. It's wild.
It is symbolism.
Yeah.
And it's sacred geometry. That's what the ancients called it. That's what the Hermetics called it. They called it sacred geometry. And you need to be careful with this stuff. This stuff isn't to be like tattooed on your body and like you're basically branding yourself, because here's what the deal is like with this symbolism, and we'll like kind of get back to that, but symbolism is like basically like a vibration.
Yeah.
Okay. These symbols have meaning, and they have like a vibration, a frequency that attracts certain things, who is like, this will all relate to the things that we had talked about, right, dude?
Yeah.
So look at the other side of the dollar bill. It's the pyramid. It's the pyramid with the eye. The eye is also another symbol of Saturn. Yeah. Anytime you see an ancient eye or just there it is. Yeah, right here. When people do this, it's the eye, right? That's the eye of Saturn.
This is actually for me an old Native American symbol.
Yeah,
but it's the eye. This is a big old symbol. If you can see this, so I shouldn't have this on me. Is what you're saying?
You know, here's the problem. These aren't our symbols. These are not human symbols.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
these aren't ours, and there's a reason for this. We'll get into it. Past the dollar bill, then if you do the 6-pointed star on that pyramid, it spells Mason, and then there's a 6-pointed star created there too. Okay, these are all symbols from these Freemasons that came over here. The bloodlines just came to America, right? Okay. What also is transversed is it's the cube, the black cube, 6-pointed stars, hexagons, 6-pointed stars, hexagons, and a cube. Black cubes, especially, right? Okay, now you start to see black cubes popping up everywhere. As soon as you recognize the symbols, you start to understand. They also relate Saturn to Taurus, which was a bull, which was the bull god, which was Moloch. They also represent
and also Kid Rock.
Right.
Great song.
Okay. Yeah. While we're on the music thing, look up Earth, Wind, and Fire's greatest hits. Like, you're going to see the whole collection on there, like on the cover of their album. It's the whole collection. It's everything. It's the winged disc, the 6-pointed star, the eye. Everything's on there, dude. It's fucking wild, dude. Once you start digging into this stuff, here's the problem: is these people know this stuff.
Yeah.
And in the average everyday people that are just in mind and body and not in touch with like what actually is going on, just they're NPCs, dude. They just have no clue. But once it's seen, you cannot unsee it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to get into who Saturn is and what it is, because it's a planet. Yeah, it's a planet.
Right. But it's so okay. So hold on, wait, because originally we were going to talk about who is running things.
Yeah,
and then we got on this tangent. Okay,
it'll all come back, dude. It's going to bring it right back.
I like it. Okay.
You just kind of have to let me get this out, because I'm going to rant. My ADD just go wow right now.
You understand? I love it. We've had Earth, Wind, and Fire. We've had the Rothschilds. We've had the Holy Roman Empire. What else have we had? We've had movies. We've had Dazed and Confused.
Do you okay, so the elements associated with Saturn is lead. The element associated with the sun is gold. That's where you get turning lead into gold, day into night, because at night they claimed that that Saturn was the dark sun.
Yeah.
And that's where you get turning lead into gold. That's where that comes from.
And that's a big deal, because gold is a very rare.
But do you know what that means? There's a meaning behind it. And what the meaning behind it is taking a low vibration into a high vibration, bringing yourself into a higher level of consciousness.
So taking you from lead, your lead self to your gold self.
Heavy. It's the heaviest element that they had, to gold, which is the lightest and the most pure, right? And that's where you get the word fuck from. Fuck is an acronym that the church was against, because you would retain that what is that called?
Wait, now hold on.
Your orgasm.
I was told that was fornication under consent of the king.
It's not.
Incorrect.
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 It's another acronym, and it's escaping me right now because I'm retarded. But no, it's not. It's not that.
What can I look up? What would
you
it
can
be?
Look up turning lead into gold and what's it called? When you hold your orgasm.
Edging.
Dude, that's part of it.
Like
edging is part of this.
So you're telling me a bunch of gooners on Reddit are
edging, like withholding an orgasm so when you have sex with your woman it's more intense, was like a practice among Gnostics or among people that were like spiritually enlightened. This is in the church. Tantric, yes,
kind of tantric.
You got it. Yes.
In that tantric,
yes.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
yeah,
and
like
in the church, and of course, the church frowned upon it because it was like you trying to reach an enlightenment through yourself, like looking within to find your true God within the divinity within. Instead, you didn't want to look without to the church, and so you didn't need them. That's where that comes from. F-U-C-K. I can't remember
so I just did. Fuck, lead into gold, withholding orgasm, spiritual enlightenment through sex, turning sacred sexuality and transmutation. Spiritual enlightenment and I don't know. Can orgasm lead to enlightenment? There's a lot of stuff on here.
Either way.
Boy, I did this on my work computer, by the way. I am upset about that. I'm going to have a conversation tomorrow.
You are fired. But no, okay. So the symbolism, one of the major symbolisms of Saturn is this again, too. Here we go. They also associated him with the harvest. They associated him with time because it was at the edge, and they made him the Father Time. That's where Father Time comes from. An old man with a long white beard. He was also associated. That's where the Grim Reaper comes from because he had a sickle, right? Okay, and also Santa, Satan, Saturn. It's all. Listen, just hang on. Keep going. Okay. Keep going. Okay, dude, this is all gonna make total fucking sense. I swear to God.
By the way, that's our clip right there. Our short is gonna be. Hold on. Old Father Time, Satan, Santa.
I'm glad we can have fun with this because I am almost at my end. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
I'm almost at my end of like digging into this stuff because I think I don't know, but I think I know what's going on right now. And dude, it's dark. And I almost to the point where it's just like I don't want to do this anymore. But okay, Satan, Santa, Saturn. They had a holiday in Rome that celebrated Saturn leading up to Christmas. It was around the same time as Christmas, and what it was where you exchanged gifts, you decorated trees, and you hung holly. Dude, that is our Christmas. How we celebrate Christmas is Saturnia. That's what the name of that holiday was. Okay, right? Now, long man with the beard, right? You take Father Time. Now he's also associated with the harvest, and his symbol. There's another symbol of him with like a hammer and a sickle, and it looks like an H with a cross on the top. Now the Rothschilds took that when they basically like founded the Soviet Union because you can figure that out. I was
just going to say, you said the hammer and the sickle.
The hammer and the sickle. That is a symbol. That is a symbol.
Another symbol.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've got this all kind of figured out here, right? That these symbols, these symbols are, and if you look in at the Chrysler logo, you look at the UN logo, you look at the Bentley logo, it's all Saturn-esque,
revolving around Saturn.
Yes,
and whoever he is, whatever he is, across multi religious facets, beliefs, what it may be.
Yep. All roads lead to Rome, dude. I said this to somebody today. All roads lead to Rome.
Yeah.
Everything we've ever talked about is leading back to the same thing, dude. And here's what it is. Voyager 1 and 2 was sent out, and I believe it was 1981. Yeah. They sent it to go look at Saturn. They discovered Saturn had rings. Okay. Very strange because Saturn's known for its rings. I believe at the same time, I know for a fact in 2004, they really dug deep into this and tried to figure it out. Do you know what they found on the top of Saturn? as a storm.
So because Saturn doesn't rotate like us, is that what you're saying? Are you saying at the poles
At
of
the
Saturn?
pole, at the North Pole of Saturn.
What
Go check it out.
did
Check it
they
out.
find at the North Pole of Saturn? I always like looking for the North Pole of Uranus, but we'll worry about that later.
We're not going to worry about that right now.
All right. Saturn's hexagon. What?
It's a hexagonal storm at the North Pole of Saturn.
Holy.
This is why I've almost wanted Brock, dude. I'm trying to be like dead serious. It's hard to be.
Hold on.
Yeah, dude. This is why I've almost stopped digging into this, because I think I know what it is.
Wow.
And I think I know how dark it's going to get. It really truly is.
Is a persistent, approximately hexagonal cloud pattern.
It's perfect.
Around the North Pole of the planet Saturn, located about 78 degrees north. The sides of the hexagon are about 14,500 kilometers, 9,000 miles if you're a USA patriot, which is about, I added that part, which is about 1,200 miles longer than the diameter of Earth.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a hexagon.
That's pretty.
Do you know what a hexagon is? It's in geometry. It's a flattened out cube. It's the black cube.
Out of all the things, looks a little bit like a nipple. I will say that.
No, that's the South Pole.
The
South Pole has.
No, look at this. No, I'm looking at a picture right here.
Okay, so if you look at the South Pole of Saturn, it looks like a nipple. Like it's round, right? It's circular.
Oh,
which
yeah, there it is.
Get into why that is.
So
that
this
way.
is the north one,
Yeah.
dude. That is how.
Okay.
That is okay.
Scientists say they have no clue how that happens. They
Well,
don't
that's
even.
nuts.
Here's
It's got
the other
flat
thing.
sides.
They don't have a clue what the rings are made of either. They don't have a clue. They say it's ice. They're guessing, dude. Here's what I found out.
Fragments of whatever it is.
This is what I
right?
found out over the years: is these people have no fucking clue of what.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what's going on at the bottom of the ocean, nor do we know what's going on in space.
no
I mean,
clue.
no clue.
They're completely lost. There's certain people that know exactly what's going on.
Oh, right. Okay. You always get, and are those the puppet masters? Is it going back to original?
They are not in control. They are in control. They are put in charge here, and they know they're put in charge.
Look,
Okay,
I'll be honest. I've had a lot of fun today, but this kind of ruined my day because that's
because I'm not
trippy.
spurging bullshit.
That thing it's got flat sides. It's a
perfect.
hexagon.
It's perfect
On the top. Now,
it's a flattened out cube
now
with
time out.
6-pointed star. Yeah. That's what
Can I say
represents.
so? I'm just going to do this because I'm going to play. How do we know these aren't doctored?
They're not.
For the benefit of
Actually,
whoever
I
is.
I believe they used AI to construct Saturn somehow, some way. It's something jogging my memory, and it came up with a hexagon on top of it too. Like that, yeah, I believe that's what they did. But I think I know. I don't know. I don't know shit. I'm a fucking dumbass plumber.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think I know why there is a hexagon there and what's going on here.
I mean, you've never seen. You look at any storm
Look
here
up,
on the earth. Look up any eye
of do that.
of Hurricane Gary,
No.
Hurricane Beth. It's wild. It's got flat sides.
It's mostly hydrogen, I believe that is what Saturn's made up of, and they were trying to claim that because it's got these storms and it's hydrogen, like it's doing this that, and it's not that. It's you want to know what I think it is?
Okay. Okay. What do you think it is?
I think it's frequency. It's sound. Okay. Look up the black cube of Mecca.
Black cube of Mecca popped up right away.
See that?
That's
what they
Kaaba, a cubicle
Kaaba
building in the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, which is, by the way, how you say that.
That's where all the Muslims go for pilgrimage.
Right there. Oh, look at that.
And you know what they do around it? They circle it and chant and pray while they walk around it with their energy. And what does it look like?
Oh, let me get an aerial. Let me do aerial.
Yep.
Aerial.
Just type in that and then plus Saturn.
I mean,
So if you're looking at it from the top,
yeah.
those aren't very good pictures.
These aren't very good
If you're
photos.
looking at it from the top,
Yeah.
that cube, turned, flattened out, it's a hexagon.
It's a hexagon.
And as
yeah.
they circle around it, that's Saturn's rings.
Well, and if you,
It looks
oh, gotcha.
There's
Okay.
pictures on the internet. It's perfectly of Saturn. They're replicating Saturn. Okay.
Saturn.
Now look up Black Cube.
Hold on. Side by. I want to see a side by side. It's probably been scrubbed from the internet because it's insane.
It's nuts, right? It takes a weird mind to put this stuff together.
Yeah.
Like a
yeah.
guy that thinks.
Oh, okay. So here's a kind of a good example. It shows you what the cube is.
Yes.
And then
that's it.
If you would imagine all the stuff around it.
You know what that is? It takes a person that thinks what? Outside the
hot dog. Oh, no, box. Outside the box. Sorry, I got confused. I'm hungry. Outside
and
the
not
box.
your wife's.
Yeah.
The box or the cube. Outside the cube.
Yeah.
Outside of the box, which
yeah.
What a cube is. And a cube, again, a cube is the restriction, right? It is the boundaries, which is represented. That's how Saturn is represented. It is the boundary. It is law and order. What else is law and order? Judges, police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's also known as like knowledge and information. What color are the robes for graduation?
Black.
What color are judges' robes?
Black.
What kind of star do sheriffs wear?
6-sided, right? 1, 2, 3. No, 5.
No, 6. Some wear 5, but most wear 6.
6-sided stars.
Yep.
I guess I've never.
That's all that the judges' robes.
Yeah.
The gavel is the hammer. It is all Saturn. That is all in reference to Saturn. That is not by accident. That is like, it's legitimately referenced to Saturn. Have you noticed that police uniforms have gone from blue to black?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the cars are that color too. Yeah,
black.
Yeah.
All of them. When
just for fun. So go on. We'll let you say what you say. Yeah.
Well, then you look up what the Jews wear on their head when they pray. Have you ever seen that thing? It's a black cube.
Oh.
Okay, I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember everything, dude. But and the cross, the Catholic cross, the Christian cross, is a cube unfolded.
Oh wait, so yeah, you're right. That's if you
fold out the sides,
yeah,
fold out the top, and then fold out the bottom twice. It's a cross. And then if you look in Christianity, it's all over. It's all over. It's all over in the Catholic
Teflon is what you're looking
There you go.
Yeah, Teflon is the name given to the 2 black leather boxes with straps that are put on by adult Jews for weekday morning prayers.
Yep.
Worn on their forehead.
That's Saturn. Okay. And then you look in the Catholic Church, there's 6-pointed stars all over.
Right.
It's all over his fish hat.
Yeah.
Like it's in their staffs. Also the Maltese cross. The Maltese cross is a symbol of Saturn because it was said to give out 4 points of light, 4 corners, right? 4 rivers is what it was interpreted as. And the thing he keeps is like little like thing in, that is a Maltese cross. The Maltese cross is representative of Saturn. So now that we've got all of these religions tied into Saturnism, Satanism, Satanism, who's running the goddamn show? Okay, now let's go back to Saturn. Let's go back to the planet. It is said that planets, and probably we're going to find out, planets have consciousness. And this all leads back to the soul. This all leads back. All roads lead to Rome, dude.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets fucking crazy. This is where, and then it'll get dark. So Saturn, here's the other thing you got to Google. And I don't know if you can put it on air, if you can play it, but look up the sound of Saturn. It's giving off radio waves. That's the other thing they found when they flew by it. And the radio waves that it gives off aren't normal radio waves.
The eerie sounds of Saturn. I don't know if it'll play through. Let me see.
They believe it's a mechanical sound because it's like repetitive.
Like 9 Inch Nails.
Close.
Progressive, like rock, like that.
I don't think so.
Or
if it was anything, I think what it sounds like is maybe 9 Inch Nails. Maybe you're right. The beginning of 9 Inch Nails, like
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds like the start of any German, techno song right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, okay, so it's transmitting. It's transmitting.
Yeah.
It's transmitting something. And what it's transmitting is frequency, right? So it's sending something out into the ether, which what if I were to tell you, that's where the cage is coming from? That's where the soul net's coming from. That's where the transmission is coming from Saturn to the moon, and maybe the moon's the amplifier. And that's why you like hear about all this like prison planet stuff throughout the ages, throughout time.
Yeah.
And then let's get into
or like purgatory or anything like that.
We'll loop right back to who's in charge and who's in control, but you got to give me a little bit to get this out, because this is just, I'll get it like boom, 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 boom. Okay. They talk about it being a prison planet. We talked about that. Okay. Is that the transmission that's being sent here that's coming from that planet, that's somehow, some way, somebody's like hijacked into the code of this matrix or something to transmit that? And maybe the moon's an amplifier, because it makes more sense to not explain the moon doesn't exist than it does, because it's lighter than it should be. It's older than it should be. It's not in the right place. It's too close to Earth. Like there's all this weird synchronicity about the moon that just does not make any fucking sense. Right. And people are talking about, like, you talk about those remote viewers. They said it was coming from something that looked like it was Earth-like, but it wasn't Earth. Okay. And then you talk to, like, you get into like the UFO lore about like what these beings are like talking about how this is a fucking prison planet. There was a whistleblower. There's a book out there that describes this perfectly, that they call your soul an Isby, and it's like a divine cut of God, which is like the divine consciousness, like put into you if you have the right genetic biological makeup, right? You can contain a soul. You're a container, right? So they call it an Isby. And what they said that this place is like when this like evil conquered here, they sent like all of the prisoners of war. They sent all the people that were like had problems with authority. They sent a lot of those souls here to this prison planet, because they call them traps. There's like, because you can't destroy a soul. So how do you get rid of these like pesky souls that cause problems? Maybe some are psychos, like psychopaths. They were talking about that too. Yeah. How do you get rid of them? Because you can't destroy them. So where do you send them? You send them to the prison planet. And supposedly, like, everybody knows what this place is, that it's a ghetto, that it's a prison, and that this is a prison. In the ghetto. That this is a prison planet, and that they're sent here. And not only that, like, other things know this too. Yeah. And dude, it's like dropping off a cat at a farm.
So all of us
drop off their souls that they don't want, the Isbies they don't want to deal with.
So is that each new person born is just a new soul that got thrown over here?
Dude, maybe
we're all problematic souls.
All problems, dude. They know that, and that's why they maybe don't come down here, is because they're like, this place is fucking crazy, dude.
But we're part of the divine creator, though. So how can we be problematic? Are we problematic from him, the overall creator? I guess that's
an individual. We're cut off, and it's not a him, it's an it. That's where religion gets it wrong. It's not a him, it's an it. It is a thing.
Non-binary.
Non-binary, bro. It doesn't want to be worshipped. You just have to have a connection to it.
Yeah.
And that's how you like reached this high level of consciousness, right? This level of understanding and love, like we always talk about. You have to have a connection to it, not him. Him is a control mechanism. That's where religion comes into play, dude. And I'll tell you this right now. This is what I think. I think when you're looking at like, we've got to back up. Okay, prison planet. Yeah, right. Could be possibly. This is the transmission to the prison planet, keeping the cage around here, right?
Right.
Okay. Possibly, maybe. Okay. Let's go now to what these things are. And they've been described as the archons, or, lack of a better term, dude, demons. They're not demons. They're not demons like you think, but this is the only way we can describe them. They're demons. Archons, they were described by the Gnostics as archons. They were described by, I believe, the Muslims as the jinn. And what they are is spirit. It's not nuts and bolts. It's not so much the nuts and bolts UFOs that like people need to be into. They need to be into like, they are soul. They are pure energy. They are what a soul is.
Right.
They are just on a different lower vibration. Okay. These things are what's in control of this planet, and they're here. And how they come here and how they dominate this planet is through the millennia of time. They've always wanted to be worshipped. Why do they need us? They need us for energy. They need us for low vibrational energy to keep us in this low vibrational pattern, right? They need to keep us down. They need to keep us fighting in this stew that they create down here.
Yeah.
Right. How do they create that stew? Possibly, maybe they took our 98% of our DNA, that junk DNA that science calls junk. It's not junk. Maybe it's part of them that they input into us that is a receiver for this frequency coming here from maybe, I don't know, maybe Saturn, maybe the moon. Like, it's being transmitted down here and making it like a virtual reality for them. And they use this energy, this unbelievable amount of energy,
which we've talked about. Yeah, energy is,
we just
right.
Can't find it yet. Yeah. They use this energy to power themselves, nourish themselves, because they are pure ego. They are pure ego spirit. It is something. It is evil. You have good as below, as above, so below, as within, so without. Evil and good is, dude, they're just opposite ends of the spectrum.
Okay, hold on, let me hop in here.
Okay.
So these lower vibration beings that are using us,
yes,
who are a piece of a much bigger puzzle, correct?
They are the tippity top of evolution.
Okay, right.
You want to call it evolution?
But
I don't even know.
Yeah.
They're trillions of years
old. But they are not tippity top of the universe, though.
It's
why is whatever we're a part of this bigger picture,
this divine consciousness,
this divine
God,
our being, God, whatever it is, because you said we're a piece of him. Yeah,
that's what I believe.
Not able to. Is it a deal that was made? Is it a war that is going on? Why can't we be freed, or our souls, our piece of it, be out of here instead of being used and hopefully break free and enjoy whatever is past being energy slaves for these subpar yet powerful,
super powerful
beings?
This is where teachers, not messiahs, not people that should be worshipped.
Yeah.
But this is where people like Thoth, Hermes, and Jesus all came into play. They came here to teach you how to transverse, how to reach Christ consciousness. Christ isn't Jesus Christ's last name. Dude, it's not even, Jesus isn't even his first name.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's Gary, believe it or not.
Gary was bad at soccer.
Gary Christ.
No, it's reaching a certain level of consciousness, and that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do to and I want to say escape, because then people will just want to reach, they'll just like try to escape, and that's all they'll focus on, when it's actually focusing on being Christ-like. And being Christ-like was like being like Thoth. Being Christ-like was being like Hermes. That's where the Hermetic teachings come from. They're all teaching the same thing. What happened was religion got a hold of it. They bastardized it. They completely tainted it, and then said that you need to worship something, right? Yeah. Now let's get into the worship. Whatever this stuff is, they want to be worshiped. Okay. They need us to worship them. Why? So we can conjure them.
Right. And give them the energy that they're so desperately needing, whether that's through
build me an altar. They all say it throughout all history. Look at every single one of your churches, dude. What do they have? They have altars.
Yeah.
Build me an altar of uncut human stone was the first altars built, right?
But they also talk about, though, false altars too. They talk about, if you look at a lot of religions, people, the golden calf, which you're not supposed to do.
Who is the golden cow? Who is the golden bull? Who is the golden calf?
I don't.
Saturn.
Oh, well, you did. Well, because he's lined up with Taurus. Yes. So
the symbol is Saturn.
Okay.
Yep.
So they want to throw you off of that scent. I get what you're saying. So what I'm trying to, and again, so for us, going back to our original point.
Yeah, and then we'll get right to that.
Right.
Yeah.
the what's running our show are these lower end
Archons,
archons, but not at the level. There's obviously people, someone higher than them, multiple levels higher than them.
No, that they are the tip.
No,
They are
of
top.
us. No, I'm saying though in the universe though.
No,
Whatever.
yeah. Well, if you want to, we got to stop thinking like humans.
They're not our
because
creator.
You got to stop thinking like humans. Consciousness created this. It's not a creator. Like I keep saying that. It's not a creator. It came through consciousness, which is this all like this always been here it's a field of consciousness, and that's what creates everything you see.
Okay.
Not just somebody like going poof, it's a creator. I made man, and there's small g gods that aren't small. There's just flesh and blood human beings that could have manipulated and screwed with us, but they're not like what we would call God. They are not that. Like I keep saying, you're never going to find consciousness through mathematics and physics and science and all that like crazy try to find mathematically what consciousness is. You're never going to do. You're never going to achieve it.
Okay.
So we're thinking in hierarchies.
Yeah.
Right. These things are just been around for a very, 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 very long time. We're talking trillions of years. And so has this, like what we call God, this consciousness.
That's where I'm at. So, okay. So
it's evil and good.
Right. So what we are considering though good is the divine creator.
100%.
Right there.
It's love.
But we're dealing with, where we're at right now, our souls, this consciousness is being controlled,
yes.
used, abused by those narcons, like you said.
And
so
what some of these people that have encountered beings say to us is it's a crime. It's a crime what's happened to us, and that they feel sorry for us for what's happened to us, and we're down here in this ghetto.
Yeah.
They do talk about that.
Yeah. Elvis sang about it. Great song.
Hang on, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
How does that start?
I see a little silhouette of a
how
man.
does it start?
Mama. Oh yeah, the real life.
Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see.
I'm just
okay. Then that's it. But no, okay. What is he talking about?
Look up to the skies, see what you're. Yeah.
We're living in a matrix within inside a matrix that's been like hacked into by these,
Brian May was a smart guy, man.
That's been hacked into these like super smart people. And here's the thing: when they want you to build them an altar, what are they trying to like conjure themselves to? What I can only look to your movies, dude, because they tell you the truth in the movies.
Like in
what happened in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Agent Smith tried to copy himself, and he did, and he copied. And that's what these things are. These archons are trying to copy themselves and conjure themselves.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the hybridization in the UFO lore. Are they trying to do what Agent Smith did again, do the Wachowski brothers like know what's going on, and they just put this stuff in the movie, and that's why that movie hit home so well. And they're trying to wake people up. Like
they're sisters now, I think. Or did they both transition?
Whatever, dude. Whatever. But amazing movies, right?
Yes.
But if you think about it, then Agent Smith tried to what? He tried to become flesh and blood.
Yeah.
And he did. And he like hacked into somebody's body. Dude, basically it's the same thing. They're creating containers so then they can like reproduce these evil archons. They're just copies of themselves. Yeah. Like that's what I think is going on.
So they're able to, I get what you're saying. And again,
they're here with us right now.
They're here with us. Whether they're not whether from what I'm gathering, they're in plain sight, just like a classic old Roddy in his glasses, and it's
the same thing.
They're in plain sight. They're controlling us through evil energy, trying to us to fuel them. Clearly, they are not the top of the food chain in the universe. There's something.
God.
Yeah.
If
we to put a label on it, what you're so
yeah.
And I guess
what if I told? Go ahead.
No. So the conversation now is so we know who's running our show right now.
Right.
Why though can't I guess maybe that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Who is really the big guy, whoever it may be? Why not just say, no, you're done messing with these people. A deal made.
Doesn't
This
work like
it does, and in the universe, maybe it doesn't. Free will. They talk about free will. Maybe that is something that is involved in
Free will.
all of this. Why we can't
Free will.
hey, you got to earn it, and whatever it may be. And that's what I think is interesting because I don't. From my religious standpoint and my Christianity, what it is, and it's interesting what you say because the good and evil is still there. The very essence of what a religion is. You look at a lot of them, you have this good and evil. You have this creator that we are trying to get to by doing,
sure about that?
like you said, living Christ-like, right?
Are you sure about that?
What now? Okay, so now what
if I were to tell you that your religion has been corrupted and hacked?
So now, okay, hold on, wait.
Here we go.
I will say,
I
hold on,
Yeah.
because this is obviously a hard thing for anyone, I think, in religion, because you want, how dare you say that? I also know money and power and control makes people do terrible things.
Yes.
And I think you look at a lot of stuff throughout history is written by the victors. Of course,
right.
Of course it is. So do I feel that there are people? I'm going to say it right now. Sorry, Joel Osteen, you're a terrible example of a Christian. You and your multi-million-dollar house and your $5,000 suit. He to me is the type of people. I honestly would consider him an archon.
Right? Like, yeah.
Here's a guy who is and a pawn on someone, but then it's hard for maybe the other people that are like, no, I truly believe, or whatever it may be. And that's where I think sometimes it's like, well, how can there be evil? You think about this, you have evil in the world. I think that's the evil at work. You maybe see a starving kid or a cancer. I think that's the evil working to pull us away from the bigger picture, that enlightenment, because it'd be easy to look at someone dying of cancer. Why would a God do this? Why would someone do this? I think
they don't do anything.
No, don't get smug with me.
No,
but what I'm saying though is, I think that's the evil working that we're fighting against. That you're fighting against to get to that higher place.
Where thought goes, energy flows. And if you better be really, really sure of what you're worshiping, of what you're going to on Sunday mornings and getting down on your knees for and praying to, you better be damn sure what that entity is. And if you're not, again, I don't kill somebody if I don't know it's a human. That's why I'm against abortion. If I don't know, I don't kill it, and I don't sacrifice it to Moloch because that's what they did. That was a child sacrifice thing to Saturn, right? Okay. What I'm trying to get people to understand, just think a little bit about the God that you're worshiping on Sundays in Christianity and in Judaism and in Muslims, like in Islam.
What? Blind following for anything is bad. I think that's what it is. If
you are worshiping something, what are you doing? You're putting all your thought into it. What did I just say? Thought is energy. Thought is power. Where you think, it flows. Okay. And if you're worshiping Yahweh, you better be damn sure that that's a good God and that you were told the truth and that thing that's put together, that really thick book, better be that comic book I said that was all put together. That's true. Because if you're getting down on your knees and no matter what that book says, and it says, oh yeah, Jesus is this and Jesus is that. What if it's not? What if Jesus isn't the Son of God?
But
what if Jesus said, do not worship me? What if he didn't even have to say that? Like, that never came up in the conversation.
But
what if some human being, because that book was created by human beings,
right?
Those apostles couldn't read nor write.
Right.
So who wrote it? Okay.
Flip side though, what if it is though? I mean, we could play the what if game.
And that's what almost 80% of Christian, now I can't back that up, but I would say 60 to 80% of Christians say.
That's what 5 to 95% say.
Dude, that's what they do.
Now,
is they say, yeah, I'm just doing this just in case it's true.
Well, now just in case. Now, but that's the point is though, is that anybody can say, well, what if it's not? But I can also say, what if it is? We can play that game all over. I get what you're saying.
But why are you getting down on your knees on an altar to worship something? Why does it? Let me ask you this.
Well, I don't, because I'm
Why
not
doesn't-
Catholic. The Catholics are the ones that are up,
No,
down, up,
you're
down.
still going somewhere and you're sending forth your energy into a being that you
What?
believe. Let me ask you this. You know those pictures of Jesus that you see on the wall in your church?
Yeah.
Because I know they're there.
I like my white Jesus,
Do you know
by
where
the
that
way.
do you know where that came from?
That came from more than likely an artist who whitewashed Jesus. Absolutely.
Do you know who the artist was?
Who?
Leonardo da Vinci. Do you know why he drew it that way?
What?
Here's the problem is, and I don't want to knock Christians because I love Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love his teachings, dude. He is love, and like the things that he taught were amazing. You just should not worship somebody like that.
You don't worship.
No, you're worshiping Yahweh through him.
It's
It's a conduit. Listen,
we're
it's a
gonna get
conduit.
okay.
Anyway,
hold on.
anyway,
We're getting all right. We're getting off track
Okay,
here.
But let me
How
tell
dare you say that? Oh my God! I will fight you.
And
No,
see, that's
okay.
what happens. Like,
Okay, of
okay,
course. That's
here-
that's why there's been
and-
1,000-year wars in the Middle East. I get it. I
because these
understand.
archons are doing this. No matter
right.
who you worship, whether you're on your knees for Satan or you're on your knees for Yahweh,
Yeah.
that's who the Old Testament God is. Like, it's still the same evil, and all your energy is going to the same thing.
Mhm.
And until we start to realize that dogma needs to die,
Mhm.
and we need to start looking within
Yeah.
and being better people, that's where it needs to go. I just want to get this out.
Yeah, you're good. We're good. We're coming up on an hour, so
I
we're
know,
getting.
but I want to get this out of where you get your imagery,
Uh-huh.
right? Your imagery. Again, symbols mean things because symbols have energy, frequency, and power. Okay, now here we go. The depictions you see in your churches of Jesus
Mhm.
isn't Jesus. That was a 15th century Italian dude that was a fucking cardinal
Mhm.
that said, there's really not a lot of power in being a cardinal. I want to be a general. And he killed his brother and became a major general in Italy and took Italy over. He was an evil, evil, evil dictator.
Mhm.
Okay. And then he commanded that all imagery of Jesus look like me, and told Leonardo DiCaprio, told him, paint me as Jesus. And that's
Mhm.
where all your imagery of Jesus comes from.
Now, what about
So when you think of Jesus, what pops in your head?
the shroud of Jesus though?
That it could be possible. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
dude, possible. But resurrections happened all the time in the ancient world, dude.
Mhm.
All the time.
Mhm.
Not common, but I mean, that's not this all of this stuff in the New and Old Testament, dude, happened way before.
Well, no,
And
and
it just repeats itself.
here's what I'm at though too. Is you look at the shroud of Jesus, much
Yeah, it
different
could
than
be
the
real.
very white Jesus. I get it. Believe me, I understand. And that's again where I go into is and as a follower, as a believer. And I'm proud to say that. And I know I have a lot of stuff I have to work on, but I also do realize that there are a lot of there is so much evil. And again, going back to our original conversation.
Yeah.
The
I
evil-
was just going to ask you a question about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you think that these super powerful people, these Bill Gates, these celebrities, all
Yep.
these people like rape kids, molest kids, do this evil shit? Like, the
Mhm.
most evil thing on the planet is you could rape a kid, right? Human traffic people.
Mhm.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think that people that are super powerful do the most evil? Why? Let me ask you that.
It's I think when you get to a point,
Yes,
if
sir.
I were to say, because again, this is just coming from a lowly guy who goes to church on Sunday and tries to do good.
Yeah.
I think it's because they get to a point where they want the power, they want the prestige, they want the money. I mean, you can look at John Cena when he showed up naked at the Oscars.
Yep.
They said that was an initiation.
Of course
Do you
it
want to
was.
do it? I think that's just what it comes to, and people are blinded, and they talk about that in
Brock,
the Bible is
If
it-
you knew you were going to die in a fiery lake
Mhm.
of hellfire and brimstone for the rest of eternity, would you do stuff like that? No, you wouldn't. These people know the truth, and guess what the truth is? There are no consequences for evil. I'm sorry.
and
Listen,
that's I guess that's
there's not.
and if that is the world we're living in, that's a damn shame. I would rather still do good,
Welcome to
and
the
f-
prison.
and if that's the prison, there's nothing I can do. I tell you what, though, I'm going to what? Okay, is there a way
But-
out?
But it's like Yoda said about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Evil is an easier.
That guy's a
fast-
dick.
Evil is evil. It's easier and it's more seductive.
Oh, for sure.
Right? To become divine, to
Yeah.
be in touch with one, to the oneness of all that there ever was and will be. to do that is difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult for you and me to become that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I'll work on that rather than taking the short path. But there is no consequences on the other side, because they're promised something. Do this for me. Do this evil for me, and I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to do just what they did in the Matrix. I'm going to put you back into the Matrix as somebody important, like an actor.
Right.
I'm going to put you back in. Like, once you die, we're going to take care of you so you get put back into this Matrix as something important. And that's, dude, the Archons. I
think we're speaking this. I will say though, Dwight, in the big
been
picture,
bastardized.
It has. I get what you're saying, but I think in the big picture though, and for anyone out there, and this, I think this is great, because you and I, this has been a lot of fun, kind of getting these opposing views in a sense. I think we're speaking a lot of the same language though, in the sense of
we are.
There is evil.
The difference between you and me is I don't get on my knees for anything.
Right.
I do not worship anything.
Yeah.
I am in touch with God through me.
Yeah.
By looking inside to me, figuring out what I need to fix inside of me, and then generating love, respect, like all that stuff, where other people are looking without. And
I get you. No, I get what you, and I still think, and I think we wrap it up with this.
Yeah.
I think we're chasing the same thing.
We are chasing
the same thing.
Yeah.
And on differences of views, whatever it may be, but I still think if we're looking at the big picture of things, there is evil around us, and everyone, anyone who's trying to find that enlightenment, that peace, that higher being, that forgiveness, whatever it may be, is that grace is trying to bring in love, give out love, bring in positive, give out positive, while doing their best to avoid, because obviously sin's great. Porn, drugs, alcohol. I mean,
but
that's
Archons
the easy
don't give
one.
a shit about
they
that
don't.
stuff.
They don't
care about who you worship.
Right, and exactly. And so they're going to tempt us
Love,
with that stuff.
Yeah. Sing all the way in church. And then if you're still worshiping them, they don't care.
Of course. So I think there is more to it.
Yeah.
I think we can wrap it up with that.
I
do think we're on that. So long story short, the very beginning, what we talked about, who's running it?
The Rothschilds.
Dude,
they're not even. I'm gonna have to
end this.
Listen, they founded the Israeli state, and they're not even Jewish. They hate the Jews just as much as they hate all of us. I'm serious. The Rothschilds, dude, they hate us all. They're not even Jewish. They're German, dude. They're German. Leads back to 1947. When were they developed? It was founded in 1947. What happened in 1940? You know what happened. Hit the button. Hit the yeah button, because you know what happened.
Jesus Christ! Hold on.
No, we're not talking about him. We're talking about dude. Is this all making sense to you? I'm going, goddamn. I think I'm done. I'm retiring from this.
Almost 58 minutes. All of a sudden, finally, the Rothschilds, and it was the Jews. They're not even Jewish. We're there. Okay. All right. I'm going to send us out. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You need to pop a loot or something. That's perfect.
Oh, all right. We will see you all next time. Maybe, I don't know, if we don't get killed.
I'm exhausted.
That was a hell of a run. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been Conspiracies, whatever the hell you want with Brock and Dwight. I blacked out. Yeah, that was amazing.
This came too.
All right, we will see you guys next time. Okay, bye.